If you've ever seen pictures of Bali, you wouldn't be surprised to hear how popular this destination is. Chances are, even if you haven't been yourself, you probably know someone who has. Luckily, there is a surprising amount to see and do for the relatively small size in Bali. However, if you're planning a grand Indonesian getaway, you might be wondering what you should know before getting on that plane, or if there are any surprises on the way. This is the Traveler's Post. Today, we're going to be talking about 10 things you need to know about Bali. There's nothing worse than being caught unaware, and doing a little bit of research can go a long way. We have little-known tips, secrets, and information ready to give you the inside scoop. Make sure you watch to the end because these interesting tidbits could actually go a long way. So make sure you've got your bags packed, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive in. Number 10. You probably don't need a visa to visit. As of 2016, nationals of 169 different countries can visit Indonesia visa-free for 30 days, and visa on arrival for other countries only costs $35, and it can be extended. The process is super easy, and it makes traveling to Indonesia easier than a lot of other countries. Number 9. You may be doing a lot of walking. Make sure you bring a comfortable set of shoes as there's a fair bit of walking or hiking to be done if you want to see some of the best sights. Not just flat hiking either. There are sometimes hundreds of uneven trails to be walked to enjoy cliffs and waterfalls alike, sometimes through jungles. If you want to visit any of the sites, you can probably assume there will be a walking element. Even some of the temples are a hike or a long staircase away. It's almost always worth the extra effort, but make sure you're taking care of yourself along the way. Number 8. Decide in advance if outdoor living is for you. As romantic as the idea of staying in a jungle villa might seem, you should always keep in mind that it means you're in the jungle in a lot of cases. Not everyone is accustomed to these accommodations, and going in blind can cause a bit of shock. But if you're willing to deal with the occasional giant spider, huge toad, possible leech, and everything else you might encounter in a jungle, you'll be rewarded with stunning views, sounds, and sights that you can't get anywhere else in the world. Just be informed before you go. Make sure you check for leeches when you walk through the jungle, and you'll be good to go. Number 7. Local dining can be hard to find. Don't get stuck on the old looking to eat where locals do. Truthfully, most locals eat at home with their families, so the restaurants around the island cater to visitors. There are plenty of options, but the local cuisine is the easiest to get hold of through traditional restaurant settings. Take advantage of them where you can. If you can bundle your experience into an all-inclusive restaurant with food included, all the better. Number 6. Try to plan for weather, but don't worry if you can't. Just be aware that the weather can be unpredictable. It absolutely can still rain in the dry season, and it can be extremely sunny in the rainy season from time to time. Don't try too hard to rule a single season out for the other, because you could still end up surprised by the way nature turns. Some of the most popular times to visit Bali are February to May, except for Easter. That's when it's still green from the rainy season and mostly nice weather. There's a strict no travel rule on Nyepdi in March, and that's always worth keeping in mind as the date varies based on the Saka lunar calendar each year. Number 5. Transport or driving might surprise you. Getting around Bali is actually pretty easy. In the more tourist-heavy areas like Seminyak and Legian, taxis are everywhere and will honk for your attention. If you don't want to bargain, you can use Bluebird taxis and just tell the driver to put on the meter before you get in. You can make arrangements at the airport, the easiest way to travel from there. If you don't want to deal with taxis at all, it may sometimes be cheaper to hire a driver for the whole day, $20 to $30 in most cases, which can be a great deal. Most drivers you'll hire are lovely and eager to help. If you're traveling between destinations, you can also rent a motorcycle or scooter and travel independently. it would be good to keep in mind that you need to drive on the left and that there are no gas stations in the countryside, so stock up. Number 4. Tipping is acceptable but not expected. Tipping is prevalent in the West and expected in places like the US, but not necessarily the same worldwide. In Bali, tipping is entirely optional, though acceptable in practice. If you were given excellent service, a tip wouldn't be refused, but don't expect to add a 20% gratuity to every order if you don't want to. If you stress about tipping when traveling abroad, then Bali's energy around it might come off as a bit of a relief. Number 3. Be ready to barter. Haggling is a part of everyday life here. Unless you're shopping at convenience stores or certain fancy boutiques, the first quoted price is rarely the correct one. In fact, it's often doubled what the seller will let the item go for. Don't be afraid to haggle. In fact, some stall owners will encourage you to do so by telling you the price they think you should come back with. We in the West might think the practice rude, as it's not really a thing around here, but once you get into it, it can actually be rather fun. Number 2. Embrace local clothing and culture. In Bali, you can wear just about anything you'd like on a typical beach holiday. Shorts, sundresses, or whatever, especially along the beach or in the south. However, you are expected to show a certain level of respect when you're in public and not on the beach. It's good practice to also bring a sarong, which is explicitly expected when visiting temples, along with sashes. Don't worry though, you can likely rent appropriate attire at the temple for a little extra money. Number 1. Make sure you explore. Bali is so much more than just Kuta and Seminyak. While those are popular tourist destinations, make sure you don't get stuck in one area for too long. You'll find some of the very best beaches on the Bukit Peninsula and stunning cultural and natural areas in the north. While you want to go to particular destinations, don't get too stuck. Try something new while you're there. Experiences are around every corner, and you'd benefit from a little bit of adventure in your trip. No matter the kind of trip you're hoping to have, Bali has something for everyone. From lush forests to gorgeous sights, for hikers, families, honeymooners, and world travelers alike. Indulging in the culture and allowing yourself to be an explorer for a bit will significantly benefit you on a trip like this. Don't get caught up in the tiny details and relax. Bali can be your next great big adventure, but only if you let it. Have you ever been to Bali? Was there anything in particular that surprised you when you got there, or things you wish you'd known in advance? Let us know in the comments below whether we caught that tip or not. If you like this video and want to see more just like it, then make sure you leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel with post notifications turned on for more just like this. That's gonna be it for today. This has been the Traveler's Post, and we'll see you next time on your next big adventure.